What's good? 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 What's good?
Well, good evening, everybody. Oh man, it's so wonderful to see the chat blowing up. Hey, y'all. Hey, Josephine Wadley. Hey, Dr. Edwina from Florida. June Hill Campbell is in the building. Linda Harrington. Chiquita Clark from Tampa Bay. What's beautiful, y'all? What is joyful? What is fascinating? What's never before heard? What's yet to be discovered? What is better than expected? What is good? It is such an honor to be back with you again this month for What's Good, this monthly town hall presented by Values Partnerships. As many of you know, my name is Joshua Dubois. I'm the CEO of Values and Gauge.ai, our insights firm, and I'm so honored to be your MC this evening. Listen, y'all know the drill. There is a whole lot of complexity in the world today. We see, protests roiling college campuses around the country. I'm sure y'all have been following the news like I have. We feel a difficult and complex political season already upon us, and in our own lives. We're all shouldering different burdens, facing different challenges. But even in the midst of all of that, there's also a whole lot of good. Just a few things that come to mind, and just kind of about this moment in the country. Did you all know that teenage pregnancy rates in the United States of America hit historic lows in 2022? That means that there are folks, and by the way, that's not any stigma on moms who did an amazing job, and dads as well, raising kids as teens. But that means that there are young people who are able to take even more control of their lives because they're waiting to have kids. That's a good thing. Did you know that? And this is crazy because we hear all these stats about absent Black fathers. The CDC released some data earlier this year that 70% of Black fathers who live with their children, 70% of them have either bathed, dressed, or changed, or helped their child with the toilet. And and that may sound like kind of an odd statistic, but it's higher than every other racial or ethnic group. And so that means that Black fathers, even in complicated circumstances, are showing up for their kids. They're taking them to gymnastics and to ballet and baseball. They're showing up in ways that are rarely reported. Even as I think about what's happening on our college campuses, these are very, very difficult debates, and there's not sort of clear lines here. But we're seeing young people, whether it's young Jewish students and allies speaking out against anti-Semitism, whether it's folks speaking out against atrocities in Gaza, we're seeing them find their voices in real time. And it's difficult, it's painful, but they're in the midst of that protest, in the midst of the pushback, in the midst of the debate. There's something good and healthy about democratic conversations. And so, y'all, even in the midst of all of that, there are still things that are good, and there are good things in our own lives. I got a lot of things I'm balancing and facing, but let me share some good news, and I'm gonna share some good news that y'all sent in. Let me see what is good with me right now. Well, earlier this afternoon, my wife, who has been steadily trying to move us in the direction of a new kitchen, got a quote back that was 40% lower than I thought it was. Hallelujah for a 40% lower quote on the new remodeled kitchen. So that is certainly good. We heard recently that some folks who are facing some health challenges in our family are doing a whole lot better. So that is good as well. And then this was an interesting thing that was good with me. My eldest son, August, he lost a soccer game. His team lost a soccer game, and that might not seem like a good thing, but his friends were really down this past Sunday. And when he saw that his friends were sad, he went up to the group and said, guys, it's just one game. We got another one coming. There'll be another week. And so that just made me feel good as a parent. That was something that was good that's happening with me. And then we asked you all what's good with you, and you sent in some awesome stuff. So I want to shout out some people. And if there's somebody who wants to share a good word, feel free to to drop it in the chat. And thank you, Michelle. We're going to see Michelle Norris in just a bit, but she was able to connect with August a few times. Shakita Collins from Jackson, Mississippi, let us know that as of April 12th, 2024, she is student loan free. Can we get a virtual praise dance for Shakita Collins from Jackson, because she no longer has those student loans? Dr. Wanza Sermons Lee from West Palm Beach closed on a new condo just 11 days ago on April 19th. Dr. Wanza, if you are here, we are proud of you. That journey of home ownership and wealth building is happening in real time in your life. You have taken a step that is going to enable so many more steps in your life by closing on that condo. Kavanche Johnson on March 5th gave birth to her firstborn son. So Kavanche, if you are on, we are so celebrating with you. We didn't get your son's name, so if you're here, drop it in the chat. Nicole Whitaker wanted to give a shout out and congratulate Jaden Williams on her new internship to the U.S. Senate that was just confirmed for the summer of 2024 this summer. And so Jaden, we're proud of you. We're right up the street. If you need me to drop off, some soup or some collard greens or something, I don't know, I'm happy to. Actually, I probably won't make it myself, but I'm happy to pick up some takeout for Jaden. Karen Stewart from Norcross said that her son Eric got his real estate license and sold his first house on April 3rd. Eric, we are proud of you, man. That is big. These are entrepreneurs that are emerging from our community. And a special shout out, Olive Glasgow from the Bronx, New York, BX in the building, the grandmother of Samantha Williams, who many of you know, and Chantress Williams from our Values Engaged team, is turning 100 years old on Monday. Grandma Olive is turning 100, and I hear she is just as sharp as she can be. And so we are so proud of and celebrating Olive. Look, some folks dropped in the chat. Talia Townsend just celebrated 54 years of marriage. And I'm sorry, her parents celebrated 54. I didn't mean to put that on you, Talia. Your parents celebrated 54 years of marriage, and we're proud of you. Sophia Paul, we're congratulating you and cheering you on as you start that nonprofit. We believe and know that you can do it. And Lawrence, I'm proud of you for your 5th anniversary in business at Biotech Health Management and Care. Mary Simpkins, you wrote a children's book. It's your second one, Prince Patches and the Halo Butterfly of a 5-part series was released today on Amazon. That is big. Mary, we're very proud of you, an author of a 5-part children's book series that in our very own midst. And so we'll go back to some other folks who have shared some good news, but so delighted. Listen, this is a community, as you all see already. This is a lively community of people who affirm each other, connect to new things, and share and support. But you got to stay connected to this community to know what's coming. We got some big stuff planned for the summer that you don't want to miss. And so I'd love for you to sign up for our text updates. You can text JOIN to 202-221-6616. Again, that's JOIN to 202-221-6616. Or you can scan that QR code and you'll have access to some special text-only giveaways, and you'll be the first to learn about some of our events and more. So please join our What's Good text community. We have an amazing night tonight. You all are not going to want to miss a minute of it. Please stay on until the very end. We're delighted to kick things off with my dear friend and best-selling author Michelle Norris, who has one of the best books I have read in a very long time, Our Hidden Conversations. And so we're going to talk about this with Michelle in just a moment. Then we have, how many pinners are out there? Who's on Pinterest? Drop it in the chat if you're on Pinterest. I bet you there's a lot of pinners out there. Leslie Hardy, who is doing amazing work at Pinterest, is going to talk about a brand new tool that Pinterest has rolled out to make searching a lot more inclusive on the platform. And so we're going to hear from Leslie. And then, listen, my wife has engaged with this group for a while. And there's just really no other space like it in the country. Simona Noche from the Mom Friends is on the line, is going to share about how they created this a beautiful space for moms of color and what's happening at the Mom Friends this year. And then Professor Kezia Williams is going to talk about how you can use AI in your life, starting a business, getting a side hustle off the ground, and more. And then we're going to hear from Ashanti Golar, the president of Emerge. If you don't know about Emerge, you have to know about them. They're a powerful organization equipping women to run for office. We probably got some future candidates out there on the line. And you're going to hear from Ashanti about some programming they have coming up along with the 2024 election update. Stay on for the show. Like I said, all the way through the end, we're giving away. This was an idea on the last call. We gave away one $500 gift card last time, and somebody said, well, y'all should break that up and do it throughout the show. So we're doing 3 $100 gift cards, and at the very end we're going to give a $200 gift card away, just to bring some goodness into the world. Here's the thing though, if you were on last time, you know that the way we do our giveaways is this platform that we're on pulls your name from those who have put in the hashtag what's good. So if everybody could just do hashtag what's good, if you want to be eligible for the giveaway, comment hashtag what's good, and we will make sure that you are in the queue when it's time for our giveaway. Now we are ready to roll into our first guest. I'm so excited to chat with just one of the most brilliant people in America and in the world today, award-winning journalist, New York Times best-selling author, and my friend Michelle Norris. Before we bring on Michelle, though, I'd love for you to just take a quick look at a preview of her best-selling book, Our Hidden Conversation. So take a look at this. Awesome. Michelle, welcome to What's Good. Oh, I think you may be muted. We may need to unmute you real quick.
Hello, hello.
There we are. Yes, welcome.
You would think after 3 years of Zooming that we would have figured out the mute and the unmute button. Sorry about that.
I mute myself at least 3 times a day. Don't worry about it. But welcome to What's Good. We're so delighted to have you.
And thank you for starting off by spreading the good news. We all need that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to be concerned with, but we got to find the joy in our lives. So listen, we're excited about the good news in the world, but we're also really, really excited about all the good news. Sometimes it's complicated news and poignant, but still very, very good that is found in Our Hidden Conversations. For those who don't know your journey through the Race Car Project and 6-word stories and so forth to this book, can you give us sort of the snapshot version? How did you get to Our Hidden Conversations? Where did this all come from?
It all started with postcards. I 14 years ago wrote a book about my family's complex racial legacy called Our Hidden Conversations, called The Grace of Silence. And it was called The Grace of Silence because I realized that I was raised by people who saw much but said little. They didn't tell me about some of the difficult things they had experienced in life. I didn't know that my father had been shot in the leg by a police officer when he had returned from his military service. Didn't tell my mother, and he had a wound all his life. And I knew the wound was there, but I didn't know the source of the wound until long after he died. And one of my uncles told me. And on the other hand, I didn't know that my grandmother was an itinerant Aunt Jemima, that she traveled around the country doing pancake demonstrations dressed up as Aunt Jemima because no one wanted to talk about that. But she made a lot of money doing it. And she was part of an army of Black women who traveled the country and made a lot of money teaching women how to do convenience cooking when convenience cooking was new. And so I wrote this book about my family's rather complex racial legacy and about, the things we don't know and how so many of our parents wanted us to soar. And so they didn't tell us their stories. And when I went out in the world to talk about that, Joshua, I thought at the time no one wanted to talk about race.
Yeah.
And so I came up with this idea to try to lubricate that conversation and to invite people into the conversation. And I created these postcards. And this is one of the original postcards that I dug up and had with me tonight. And they said, race your thoughts, 6 words, please send. And, this was at a time when everyone was moving to online communication. So the idea of doing something with the post office was a little unusual, but my parents were postal workers. And so maybe it was how I was trying to support them. But I printed 200 of these in Washington, D.C. at the Kinko's next to the Red Door Salon. And of that first 200 cards, about 30% came back to me. And that showed me something, because if you're sending a postcard, that means you have to find a pen. You have to find a postage stamp. Then you have to find a mailbox. So I thought, well, wait a minute, maybe people do want to talk about this. And so I printed hundreds of these postcards. I got my publisher to print hundreds of these postcards. And I was on a 35-city book tour. And everywhere I went on that book tour, I was leaving postcards everywhere I went. So if I was on a plane, I left them in that little pocket in the back of the seat. If I was at a Starbucks, I left them at the sugar station. If I was at a restaurant, where the condiments are, left a card. If I was at a bookstore and I go through the list of other people's books, the bestsellers, I'd put a card inside those books. If I was in a hotel and you reached to the nightstand because you wanted to read the Bible and get a bit of the good word, I would follow a postcard, because I would put a postcard in there. And hundreds of these postcards started to come back, and we created a website. And most people now submit digitally online. But in the 14 years that we've been doing this, we have, before the book was published, we had archived more than 500,000 of these stories from 50 states, 93 countries. And since the book has come out, tens of thousands of stories have come in. So we have to sort of take a pause this summer and do another count. But we're probably going to close in, on 1 million stories by the end of the year. So I created this project on a mistaken premise that people don't want to talk about race. And now what I realize is actually people do want to talk about it. They just don't want to yell about it. They want to talk about it through the prism of personal experience, because when people share their stories, sometimes they're talking about what's on the headlines, what's in the headlines. They're talking about police shootings or an election or, divisions on campus. But most of the time they're talking about their marriage, their children, their job, their commute, their memories, something that's much more personal.
Yeah. Wow. And they really do get personal in the book, and in really illuminating ways. The one that sort of stuck out to me and kind of hit me in my gut, but also made me feel seen, was Mark Quarles from Pacific Grove, California. He said, "With kids, I'm dad, a lone thug." And it just was revelatory for me, because I realized in ways that I hadn't even understood. Sometimes when I'm out, especially in certain parts of the country or certain communities, I surround myself with my kids because it softens me, right? It makes me more palatable, right? But when I'm alone, I get different kind of looks, and I get different sort of reactions to the way that I move about the world. But there was something about sort of distilling that to just those 6 words: "With kids, I'm dad, a lone thug," that just completely, took the scales off my eyes about that one part of, of my behavior and the way that I move about the world. Michelle, for you, what are some of the stories that really stand out? Whether it's the ones that inspired you, ones that broke your heart, what are some of the ones that you would pull out?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute, but just a word about Mark Quarles, because I've been talking to him for years. He lives in Northern California, and he has your experience. When the kids are with him, people do the math. Oh, okay, he must be the father. When he's alone, he had dreadlocks for years, long dreadlocks, and he's a medical technician. He lives in a very kind of swanky part of Northern California in Marin County. His kids are now young adults, and they're gone. So he lost his shield. And he recently cut off his dreads, in part because he was changing jobs, but in part because he couldn't take the kids out with him. And that stuck with me also, because when I was young, I used to spend every summer in Alabama, because that's where my father's from. And my grandpa used to dress me up and take me into town with him. And I think for the same reason, he'd always take one of the younger cousins into town, again, in 1960s Alabama, to have a cute little kid with you. Maybe you were less likely, right, to have somebody roll up on you and treat you in a way that robbed you of your dignity. So, so many of these stories hit us in certain ways.
And by the way, until you just said that, I had not thought about the future moment when my kids are off at college, and there I am again, right? Where without this sort of shield of cuteness that is surrounding me. So no, that is fascinating. But yeah, any other stories that stand out to you?
The one that I write about in the book, Black Babies Cost Less to Adopt, I still remember when that story landed. And it was from a woman who adopted a Black son and realized when she went through the process that the adoption fee was so much lower for him, as it often is for children of color. And when I did the research and the more I learned, the more it broke my heart. There are stories like, last night they burned Roscoe's house, about someone who heard his father in tears because he was a white man who wrote this in, and his father had a dear friend named Roscoe who was a World War II veteran and built a house by hand and was so proud of that house, but people didn't like that house and they didn't like to see him proud. And they burned that house, and that story stuck with me. But there are also very uplifting stories that stick with me as well. One of my favorites is from someone in Hawaii. He's a white man. He's married to an Asian woman. And he says, and I keep in touch with many of these people. I just talked to John recently. His 6 words were, "My son's not half, he's double." And I just loved that framing, because sometimes you can take something and just sort of change the frame. Like, they're not going to choose. He's not going to be just one or the other. Now, he may have to fill out a form where he has to choose, and he may go out in the world and people look at him and say, "You look Asian, so you're Asian." But they're trying to make sure that he sops up both of their cultures and that they're not going to force him to choose. And that change in framing thinks of something else that I just heard recently when I was in New York at a book event. At the Race Car Project, we often would dip into the inbox and choose 6-word stories to put on our business cards. So one of my colleagues, her 6 words, she's Indian American, South Asian, and her 6 words on her business card were, "No, I don't like spicy food." Because everyone looks at her and assumes she wants red hot curry, and it gives her indigestion. She can't stand it. Another one of my colleagues, her 6 words on her card were, "Grandma, you can't say that anymore." Which is, a little bit funny. I always chose, "Lady, I don't want your purse."
You don't have to hold it close to you. You don't have to pull it away from you.
You don't have to pat your wallet when I walk down, because it spoke to my experience. And again, it was using a little bit of humor. And we were talking about this at a book event in New York, and someone, we always give postcards out at the event so people can write their 6-word stories down. And someone said something that's going to stick with me forever. "I'm not intimidating. You are intimidated."
Wow.
And again, just changing the frame. I'm not, why are you afraid of me?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with me. You need to figure out why my color or my presence enters the room before I do and makes you want to grab your purse or run for the exit.
Oh, that's so good. Last question, Michelle, before we tell folks how to connect to this amazing book. People are beginning to use this in really interesting ways. And you shared a story with me about some of the things that you're hoping to achieve in terms of bringing people together. Just how is this book being used to create conversation in this complicated moment in our country?
Well, I always wanted this collection, this archive, which is a little bit like, a social dendrochronology. It tells us, what's happening in America in very private spaces. And this period bookended by the presidencies of Barack Obama and Donald Trump, and then punctuated by Joe Biden and the events of January 6th and the global pandemic and the killing of George Floyd. I wanted all of these stories not just to be in sort of a private collection, but to be useful in some way so people could learn about each other, so people could connect with each other, so maybe people could understand each other or figure out how to coexist even if we don't agree. And so it's being used by church groups to bring people together, to come together and actually have difficult conversations. We just held a contest called Dinner a Dozen, where we asked people to write in and tell us how they wanted to use the book. And then we will send these book clubs a dozen books, and dinner is on me.
That's awesome.
And we get so many interesting entries that will definitely, keep this going, and we'll probably do it 4 times a year. So I spent most of my career, Joshua, asking people to listen to me.
Yeah.
To listen to me on the radio, to listen to me as a television reporter, to read the columns I write in the Washington Post and other newspapers I've worked for. This is the most important work I've ever done, because it allows us to listen to each other.
That's amazing. Well, friends, I am delighted that in a moment we're going to give away 5 copies of this book. But you do not have to wait for that giveaway. What I would love for you to do is wherever books are sold. I use Barnes and Noble sometimes. Sometimes I use Amazon or different online retailers. Make sure that every single person in this What's Good community has a copy of our Hidden Conversations. And this is the kind of book that you're not going to want to just have one copy. You're going to want to gift one to someone. So go ahead and get you 2 or 3 and share this with your networks. Share it with folks at your church, your organization, your sorority. This is the way that we unlock these complicated conversations. I know we have lots of folks that come to us at work and in other spaces wanting to, how do we talk about this? How do we talk about this? Our Hidden Conversations is how we talk about this. It's a window into how to have candid conversations about race and identity. So please, please, please pick this up. And Michelle, wanted to let you know that we're giving away 5 copies of our Hidden Conversations to people who join our text community. So we're going to splash the QR code real quick and then go ahead and join our text community, and we will randomly select 5 people to receive our Hidden Conversations. Any closing words, Michelle, before we move on to our next guest?
I'm just grateful, to be able to join this community, Joshua. I love all of the good things that you put into the world. You are a walking exclamation point and an example of how we all need to lead our lives. So thank you for allowing me to be part of this community. My best to everybody.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. And I will say, not only do we love you, but my eldest son, August Dubois, is your biggest fan. He walked.
I'm going to sneak in. If he's missing, you might know where he is. I'm just going to come scoop him up and spend.
He walked into his school's book fair and he left the kids' book section because I told him Michelle was over there signing books, and so we'll have to get y'all together again soon. So
I will say one last thing about the book. This is a book that has not just essays, but more than 300 photos in the book. And you might want to keep it out on your cover because one of the things I love about the book is the cover, which I have to shout out Kadir Nelson, who created the cover for the book. And it's just, he so beautifully captures what we tried to convey in the book through his painting called Totem. So it's the kind of book that you might want to just leave out so people can find it, so you can see it on your coffee table or, wherever you display the things that you want people to see in your home.
And I love there's some that are kind of serious, but some that are just funny. Like Letitia Renee Green says, 3% Irish. How did that happen? That's her 6-word story. She wants to know more about that Irish 3%. So, all right. Thank you, Michelle. We'll talk to you real soon.
Much love.
Love you. Bye. Okay. That was awesome. And we will be giving away 5 copies of our Hidden Conversation to folks in our text community. And we're also going to do our first $100 giveaway. If you've commented what's good, by the way, you just need to do it one time. You don't get extra entries by doing it more than once. And hopefully it's not a software glitch, but you don't have to do it more than once. And in fact, it kind of slows things up if you do that hashtag more than once. But we're going to do our first $100 giveaway just because it's good and fun to bless somebody. So let's go ahead and do the draw for the first one. Stephanie Jones. Stephanie, congratulations. You are our first $100 winner. And so we will be reaching out to you at the email address that you connected into the chat. We'll probably bring on camera the person who wins the $200 at the end, but we're going to keep moving to the rest of our agenda. Sharice Perry, you have somebody very special I know you're about to introduce, so I'm going to throw it over to you.
Thanks, Joshua. Hi, everyone. I am Joshua's chief of staff, and I am really delighted to talk to our next guest. I actually had the pleasure of seeing her earlier today. Leslie Hardy is the Director of Inclusion and Diversity at Pinterest, and she's here to talk to us about one of their new innovative tools. So many of us search Pinterest for inspiration, need an outfit for a summer soiree, but like me, love things that look good on people that are 5'9" and not 5'4". Stay tuned. I think Pinterest might have a fix for you. But before I bring her on, let's take a quick look at this trailer to learn more.
Growing up, it was always about just hiding my bigger body.
I didn't want to explore fashion. All I wanted to do was cover my body and draw as little attention to myself as possible.
I think that's one thing the society kept telling me as a child and growing up is if I didn't look like the girl on the mannequin that wore that dress, that I could never wear it. It was not meant for me, nor was it made for me.
Society has told me that I absolutely should not be wearing loud prints, loud patterns, anything that's going to draw a lot of attention to my body.
When I'd see my friends wearing tube tops, I'm like, they look so cute and dainty, but I could never, like, these shoulders are, these are strong shoulders. I remember my high school prom, I wanted to get a backless dress, but I did still have back rolls then. I was like, oh, well, whenever they disappear, I'll wear it. That didn't happen. So I never wore the backless dress. I just typed in backless dress.
I just typed in colorful outfits.
Okay, the little rainbow button with the body types.
You can just pick your body type.
Oh my God, is this new?
No, wait, stop.
Ew, it's so exciting.
Why am I emotional?
There's so many options. Like actual women.
Like there's not just one plus size person, there's different body types.
Like the moment I put the body type, you see people that look like you.
Okay, I chose one and everything changed.
Being able to search by style and then filter by body is insane to me. Plus size bodies wearing crop tops, crazy, mind blowing.
Yes, see, a baggy top with baggy jeans.
I love these blue shorts.
It's like, okay, we can try that.
When you see yourself, you just want to do more of it. You want to be part of that world more.
I really want to go through my closet like right now.
Really experimenting in this outfit allowed me to see myself in a different light. I've never tried a color like this before, and I'm really excited to see what I can come up with next.
The new feature definitely has like given me a challenge to want to be more open. I can find bodies on the app that look like mine, so now it's easier to express myself because I see other women doing it.
And to see it on a bigger body, it really helps me realize I can rock this. And look at me, I'm rocking it.
I think young me would have really loved to have seen something like this. I would have avoided a lot of the things that I did to myself to be smaller because I saw like other women that looked like me. I probably would have loved myself, and I would have probably saw myself as the way that my friends saw me. I think I would have expressed myself more loudly, unapologetically. And I know that sounds like that's so dramatic, but no, it really would be life-changing to see this kind of representation and the different aesthetics on different bodies, and you know, like, oh, I can do this, I can try this.
Right now, I can explore any fashion trend I want. Who's gonna tell me not to?
Leslie, welcome to What's Good. I am so excited to chat with you tonight.
Likewise. What's good, Charisse? What's good, community?
Love, love, love that video. Pinterest is out here inspiring people and helping them to feel good about themselves. So tell us, share a little bit about what sparked this idea for this new body type ranges app on Pinterest.
Absolutely. And, you know, before I even dive in, first, I just have to acknowledge the sheer brilliance of our inclusive product and engineering and AI teams at Pinterest, who really lead with intentionality to bring our inclusive tools to life. They work in partnership with experts, with my team, the inclusion and diversity team at Pinterest, and really develop alongside Pinterest users who I see you all in the comments shouting out your Pinterest user status. And so they work with you all really to inform the research, which, brings us every step of the way in regards to how we think about this. But back to your question, really just to ground everyone quickly, Pinterest's mission is to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life they love in a really positive space online. And so to help people feel inspired, we really think about how to engineer technology in a way that advances inclusion, which is core to our mission and how we show up every day on the platform. And so what this means is that Pinterest continuously invests in a product that allows users to find inspiration that resonates with them. And so one way Pinterest does this is through leveraging AI. I know we're going to hear even more about AI tonight, but we really have been really intentional around how we're thinking about leveraging AI to bring greater inclusion to our product design. And so as a result, this has really led the way to the development of several of our inclusive tools. So think about our skin tone range tools for those who may not be familiar Carrier, which allows you to search to a default color of your skin, of your preference. Think about our hair pattern search tool as well, which allows you to pick your hair pattern to tailor search your search results to the texture that resonates with you. And now, as you've seen most recently, our body type range tool, which is beginning to solve for how we think about size inclusion on the platform. And so your question really is kind of how was this idea sparked? And really through, again, tons of research and partnership with our users. Quick shout out to one of our core partners, Gage, who's really been an instrumental partner in this space. But what we've learned from our research is that our users really want to see diverse content on our platform by honing in on some of those inclusive tools that I've mentioned. So, we've heard how important it is to see better representation on different bodies on the platform, because if we're honest, we know that most bodies shown in media depict really unrealistic standards of beauty. And so feedback like this is what keeps us inspired to invest in solving for size inclusion on the platform. And so now with about we just heard an update today. We have about 500 million users who come to Pinterest each month to search, shop, and save. And so with that, we want to make sure we continue focusing on creating an online experience that reflects the diversity of all of our global users.
Wow, that's incredible. 500 million. So tell us a bit about how this feature has changed the way that you've seen people interact with fashion and lifestyle content on your app.
Absolutely.
What have you seen since people have started using it?
Sure. And this is early days. And so the launch of our body type tool was launched just last month in March. And as a kind of reminder, our body type range offers an experience that allows our users to search for women's fashion and inspiration specifically. And they can, again, refine their search by body type, as you saw on the clip. And in these early days, we're already seeing really great momentum on the app. So we've seen about a 66% improvement in the rate of engagement for printers that use body type ranges for those versus those who do not use the filter and the tool. And so what this means is that users that use the body type range tool are more likely to find fashion and inspiration that resonates with them. And that's what this is about.
I love that. The demo showed us a lot, but tell us a bit more about how this actually works. Since we're using it.
Yeah, it's super, super easy to use on the Pinterest app. So if you have the app downloaded on your phone or any of your electronic devices, you would simply just go onto the app, select in the search icon, and then you would tap into the search bar what it is you're looking for. It's spring now for many of us. And so let's say you would want to search spring outfits. And then you can simply search from the 1 to 4 types of body ranges that are going to be available to you. And then once you do a search, again, using that same filter, Pinterest will then prompt you to see, is this the selection that you'd like to utilize for these searches in the future? All you have to do is select OK, and your device will remember your preference as it relates to your body size.
I love all of this. So tell us, what's next? How do you all plan to, it sounds like you're going to keep expanding since you said these are the early days.
That's right.
Tell us what's coming.
That's right. It's early days. And so right now we've launched body type ranges for women's fashion and wedding related content in the United States and also in Canada. But going forward, we do have plans to roll out body type ranges for men's fashions coming later into the year. And also we want to explore new verticals and additional international markets on an ongoing basis. So stay tuned on the app for more to come.
That's incredible. So how do people, where should they go? What should they do? Where on the app should they search for this?
Yeah, so all you have to do is just download the Pinterest app. You'll be able to see the tool option right next to the search bar for whatever it is that you're looking to search for to inspire you that day or in that moment. So go ahead and just log on and it'll be there for your use. And we hope that it really inspires you to continue to create a life that you love.
I love this. Leslie, thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight and telling us more about this. We're going to stay tuned. I think we're going to probably have to have you back in a couple more months to tell us more.
Anytime.
Well, thank you so much, Joshua. I'm going to send it back over to you.
Sharice and Leslie. Awesome as always. Sharice is such a great host. And Leslie, thank you for sharing that good news about what's happening at Pinterest and the ability to find stuff that's more relevant for you. Hey, I want to jump back to something just because it shows the brilliance of this community. And in the conversation we were having with Michelle, somebody jumped into the chat, Lisa Braxton, who said she wrote an article about some of the topics we were talking about how sometimes you need kids around you to become softer. Her article was, "My neighbors didn't speak to me until we got a corgi, the queen's dog." And so that was just fascinating that someone had written an article about that very subject. We're excited to see the brilliance in this community. Leslie, thank you again for the amazing work that you're doing at Pinterest. Y'all, we're about to have our next guest speaker, but first we're going to do one more giveaway real quick. You've already typed in what's good. If not, you can type it in. And Taylor, fire up the giveaway machine. Now Stephanie can't win again. Let's see. Sharon Styles. We did not plan that. Pinterest Styles, but Sharon is both stylish and a winner right now. So huge congrats to Sharon. If you got to be here though. So Sharon, I hope you're still on the line. You got to let us know that you are here. And don't worry, we do have a couple more giveaways throughout the night. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to not just throw it virtually across this town hall, but to throw it upstairs in my very own house to my amazing, beautiful, brilliant wife, who has currently barricaded herself in her office so that our 3 children do not burst in on her, and to give her time to do this interview with one of her good friends, Michelle Dubois. Love you, babe. How you doing?
Love you too. So good to see you all the way from upstairs. And I'm going to need you all to hold on to one of those gift cards to give it to grandma who's watching these 3 kids and is bribing them with all the cookies.
We will give away 4 gift cards instead of 5 so that we can give one to Grandma Lavana, who's in the other room. All right. Over to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Joshua. Well, hey, what's good, family? It's so good to be on with you all tonight. We have an incredibly special guest joining us now. Our next guest is not only my friend, but she's a phenomenal mom and wife, and she is the convener of the most sought after gathering of Black moms in this country. Simona Noche Wright is the co-founder and producer of the Mom Friends. Simona, welcome to What's Good.
Hi.
Hey, so good to be on with you.
I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh, you look stunning.
You as well. I'm gonna need one of those t-shirts. I will meet you in the mommy market this year at Mom
Yes,
Friends to pick up my
yes,
t-shirt.
yes,
Well,
you will.
Simona, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are taking time away from the kiddos tonight, and we are so grateful for you to be on to tell us a little bit about Mom Friends. So for those of the few people that have not heard, because if you were in the DMV, you have heard, but for the few people who have not heard of the Mom Friends, please do tell, what is the Mom Friends?
Yes. So first of all, thank you all for having me. I'm so excited. It is Mom Friends season. So this year, Mom Friends is June 7th through the 9th. And this is our 7th year. So the Mom Friends is actually the first full day conference, now a 3-day experience where we invite moms from all over the nation and even internationally to essentially just come spend a weekend pouring into themselves. So we have been called the Essence Festival for Moms. We have been called a Howard Homecoming Experience blended with a class, a mommy university. And it's a weekend where we have, like you mentioned, a mommy market where we feature 50 Black-owned brands. We have celebrity keynote speakers. We have different workshops, but we also curate very themed experiences. So it's not your typical conference where you're sitting in a room with gray walls, but everything is purple, just as you see in my shirt. And you essentially just get transported to a purple Wakanda for moms, where you get to learn not only how to be a wonderful mom wherever you are in your mommy journey, but you also get to reintroduce yourself to yourself. So it's just, it's just a weekend that thankfully, by the grace of God, is highly sought after. And my co-founder, Nikki, and I are excited to gear up for the 7th year.
Well, we are really excited. I'm excited to be there. I believe I've been to 6 out of 7.
Yes.
As soon as I heard about the Mom Friends, I am always clicking first and I'm putting all the alarms on my phone to make sure that I don't miss ticket sales
Mhm.
because it is an experience. It is
Mhm.
not just a conference like you said with the gray walls and the tan walls and the worksheets. It is an experience for moms to be able to
Mhm.
come rejuvenate, recharge, relax, and all those things. And so, can you, every year, you just come up with the most phenomenal theme. So,
Mhm.
this year, can you tell them about the theme of the conference?
Yeah, so this year our theme is Bloom. Last year was Revolutionary Rest, and our themes are really special to us because, like we've talked about this, Michelle, everyone that knows the conferences, we don't take these themes lightly. We really need to kind of sit on it, and we always joke, but we're also serious. Where we're like, we're not moving or choosing a theme until God confirms it. And last year, I had a really like trying summer where I was just getting so lost into my motherhood and I was trying hard to get back to who I used to be. And a simple conversation with my girlfriend, and it was so simple yet so profound for me. And she said, well, you don't have to go back to who you used to be. There's so many parts of you that you have not even introduced yourself to. And when it came back to, Nikki and I thinking about the mom friends, we were just in this not stress place, but we were talking about all the exciting things. And I remember that conversation and I said, Nikki, I feel like we rested last year, but we would really love for these women to not have to think about getting back to who they want to be or escaping to this mommy weekend, but to leave feeling empowered and sowing seeds or rejuvenating or watering those seeds, or and for many of us also blooming in the seeds that we have sown in the past. So that is how the conference came. We are ready to bloom together. So because that's our theme, and anyone that comes to my friends knows, like, we're not just picking a theme, but it is layered in every conversation, every workshop, every installation, the gift bag. So just be excited and expect to essentially walking into a mommy garden.
I love that. I mean, just absolutely love it. I love the fact that you wait for the confirmation of what
Mhm.
that year should be about because
Mhm.
this is you shepherding like hundreds of women through a weekend experience that is very hard to get away for, right? Right?
Yeah,
To be away from your kids from 2.5 days is
exactly.
tough. And so to know the level of care and thought that you put into the conference and what the theme is and all the conversations that flow from that. And of course, motherhood changes you. You'll never be the same person after motherhood. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so giving moms that permission, telling them this is a space that you can come to, that you cannot just reset, but
Yeah,
you can build some new things. You
you
can
can
bloom
build
in
some
new ways.
And
Yeah.
absolutely, Michelle, you hit it right on the head. Like, we don't take it lightly. We know getting away even for a few hours is hard, not just logistically, but a lot of us will say we want to get away and we miss our kids. So this is really an investment in yourself. And not only do Nikki and I, but our team of moms, we refer to them as the Mom Squad. We're all volunteers. All of us are wives with full-time careers, but this, we're just so grateful that God chose Nikki and I and these 25 women that have joined us each year, and now we're walking into year 7. So we're really really excited, and we're grateful that we sold out, and we're just excited to pour this weekend out coming up. So it's about.
We're
Mhm.
We're so excited too. I can't believe, like, I didn't realize this was a volunteer thing the first year I came because the level
Mhm.
of excellence that you all put into this conference is just bar none. It is absolutely amazing and phenomenal. And just, how did you all even come up with the idea of like, we should do a conference for moms of color?
Yeah, so really, Nikki and I, we always say, like, we don't think before we actually do things. We will just say it. And that's the scary part. She's always like, Simona, don't say it, because once we say it, we're just going to follow through with it. So we had District Motherhood, and District Motherhood is actually the parent organization. We founded District Motherhood in 2016, and in 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, it grew rapidly, and there were so many women around the country that were asking us to create chapters. And obviously, because it takes a long time to really curate an organization, we weren't ready to take it out yet. But what we did say is, well, how about everybody comes to us and experience a bit of District Motherhood? So that's where the idea came from. And we were actually at a conference. One of her clients, Nikki, my co-founder, is a beauty publicist, and one of her clients, we were at their conference, and we were walking around, and I was like, Nikki, next year we're going to have a conference. And I believe this was in October 2017, and our conference was in May 2018. So that's why we're like, don't say it, because Simona's going to do it. So we put a call out on social media. We're like, hey, we're going to do this conference, apply. And so many people applied. Some folks, attached their resume. They're like, hey, we want to do this. And we picked women that seemed committed, but also had the experience. So to your point of, yeah, we're volunteers, but each team, we have moms that work securing sponsorships full time. So those skills translated here. Nikki and I, like I said, are publicists and event producers. So those skills have also translated. So we picked those moms, and they were initially strangers, but now we are all sisters, and we are stuck doing this crazy work as if we don't have anything else to do, but we're stuck doing this work together, and we wouldn't change for the world.
We are forever grateful. I put it on my calendar every year. I'm like, nobody plan anything for May or June until I know when the Mom Friends Conference is coming.
Exactly.
And so we're really excited and grateful for all the work that you all do. If there's somebody that is a part of our What's Good family, they want to know more, where do they go to learn more?
Yeah, so you can go, if you're local, especially in the DMV area, you can go to districtmotherhood.com if you want to just participate in our different events. And we have moms like all stages of life. So some folks will say, oh, do I have to have like a kid 3 or older? No, like 3 or younger. Absolutely not. Like my co-founder, her son is 22. She also has like an 11-year-old and 7-year-old. I have boys 9 and under. Like where District Motherhood focuses on the mom more than the parent, more than the kid. So you can find us at District Motherhood. But if you're interested in the Mom Friends, you can go to themomfriends.com on Instagram or our website and check us out. This year, Tika Sumter is coming, and we're excited about that and all our sponsorships, including you, Michelle. We are so grateful for not just, your friendship, but your continued support over the past year and this year as well.
Well, thank you, Simona. I am just honored and delighted to be a small part of what you're doing. It is just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so grateful for you. And I can't wait to see you in June at the conference. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Have a great night. Tell the boys I said hello.
I will.
Thank you. All right. And back over to you, Joshua.
Awesome. I already know where to find my wife for 2.5 days in June, and it will not be here at the house. It will be at the Momforts, while I will be holding down these children. The Mom Friends, I'm delighted to share. It may be disappointing, but the main conference is sold out. But that's a good thing when a Black organization is sold out every year. They do have one event that's still open, which is the Wind Down, which is always a ton of fun. We can drop in the link for the Wind Down. I think it's sort of a wine-oriented gathering at the end of the conference. And so go ahead and set your alerts for the next year. But you can also connect into the Wind Down this year and just stay plugged into District Motherhood and to the Mom Friends on all social platforms, on Instagram and so forth. They have already done an amazing thing, and it's just increasing from here. And so thank you, Simona. Thank you, Michelle. And I will be upstairs to help with bedtime soon. Okay, we are ready for our third $100 giveaway. If you haven't commented what's good, hashtag what's good, go ahead and do so. But I think most of y'all have by now. We're going to get this drum roll going. Let's see. Wanda Hill, congratulations, Wanda. We are excited for you. and you will have just won a $100 gift card to use in whatever way makes you feel good. And so we'll be following up with Wanda. Let's congratulate her in the chat. Antoinette, it's not what's goofy, it's what's good, but I'm not going to take that personally right now. I think that was just a typo. I'm just joking, Antoinette. Thank you. Alrighty, it is time for our next guest. As we come closer to the end of our program, stay with us because we got some great giveaways at the end and some awesome conversations as we round things out. But I am so delighted to welcome Professor Kezia Williams to the line. Y'all know her for practical, sometimes hilarious, super helpful advice on all things finance, entrepreneurship, and now AI. I know her from, man, listen, did I get that right, Kezia? Okay.
Yes.
Platform. But I've known Kezia for years. We first connected, I think, at a Shark Tank casting call that we partnered on back in the day. But she has just been blazing trails, helping to make entrepreneurship, finance, tech, and AI education accessible for our community. So Kezia, welcome to What's Good.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. All the speakers have been incredibly inspirational. I've been in a chat being inspired by everybody there, but thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, we're delighted to have you. And I'm asked the team drop in Kezia's Instagram so folks can check you out. But Kezia, first, before we get into to the course that you have in AI and entrepreneurship, tell us about this journey. How did you start your own entrepreneurship and startup journey and get started with the Black Upstart? Like, what was that process for you? How did you get rolling?
You know, it's so interesting. I can't believe that it's already been 9 years. I was looking at LinkedIn the other day and it reminded me. But I got my journey learning about entrepreneurship when I was working at United Negro College Fund. And there I managed a $25 million national entrepreneurship initiative that was designed to teach Black college students how to start a business before they graduated from college. Some of the research during that time, which is still true, was that a Black person's college degree was equivalent to a white person's high school diploma. That means that a Black student could get the same diploma as a white student, same degree as a white student. And then when they went into the marketplace to monetize that knowledge, unfortunately, that degree wouldn't be worth the same. And so we received that investment in order to help change that and give Black college students a chance to earn their own income through business creation. So part of my job was to take my high energy, you rate my energy 1 to 10, it's going to be a 15, and travel to HBCUs across the country and really recruit these students to be a part of this program, which also included a $20,000 scholarship. Well, during my recruiting trips, I would run into the room, high energy, who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to be a boss, who wants to own their own business. And the high school students and college students were not having it. They were not excited. So they were not excited about starting a business. But when I talked about the $20,000, they got super excited. It wasn't until the workshop ended and the presentation ended that mom, dad, auntie, uncle, big brother, and big sister came up to me and solicited me to be a part of the program. And they would say things like, you know, my little cousin, my little sister, my daughter or son doesn't understand the pain of working while Black, sometimes in majority environments, right? They don't understand what it means to integrate into an environment that may seem unfriendly, or to code switch for a paycheck, to code switch for cash flow. So I'm interested in entrepreneurship. Would you be willing to teach me? I know I'm not a student. So I took that idea back to UNCF. UNCF was like, it's a great idea, but we're not going to do it. But if you want to do it after hours, we support you 100%. So I said, great, put that in writing. Yeah. So about 6 months later, I hosted a Black Entrepreneurs Bootcamp in partnership with 4 other individuals who were volunteering to help during that time. Our goal was to get 10 applications, and we received over 120 applications for 20 spots. And so Black Upstart has been going since then. I always like to say we like to teach Black entrepreneurs how to start a business so that they are able to create wealth and opportunity for themselves. You know, we want to make sure that we're not begging other people to do for us. We are 100% capable of doing for ourselves.
That's amazing, Kezia, and just what a phenomenal journey you have been on, Professor. And listen, the stuff that she has on the Black Upstarter, you can see it on her Instagram, just so practical. I saw a headline recently, entrepreneurship for introverts, I think it was what it was. And so it just really kind of breaks it down in ways that are super accessible. And Professor Kezia, you know, the things that you're focused on now oftentimes are threaded through with conversations about AI. So a lot of folks and we're going to be talking a lot about AI on What's Good in the months ahead. I'll say a lot of folks know about entrepreneurship, or they're interested in starting a business. People are beginning to learn about AI and its impact on our lives. But how do these go together? How can you explain how AI has anything to do with starting and growing a business?
Yeah, I think it's important for us to understand the benefits of artificial intelligence. I think anyone who's been on social media for 5 minutes and looked at the hashtag of AI, there's a lot of fear around that technology, and rightfully so, since there are approximately 4.5 million jobs currently occupied by Black workers that are expected to be replaced by automation, artificial intelligence, and machine learning technology. But when I think about entrepreneurship, especially as it relates to Black entrepreneurs, which we focus on, we're used to starting with a dollar, right? We've heard that that saying, how to make a dollar out of 15 cents. So we're used to starting that business, and we're the CEO, we're the COO, we're the administrative assistant, the secretary, the accountant, the attorney, and we only have budget for barely just us, right? So we work in 9 to 5, we're coming home and building our business from 6 to midnight. So when I read statistics from SCORE that said the average Black entrepreneur will spend $35,000 to start a business, while our white counterpart will spend $100,000 on the business, I'm like, the Black entrepreneurs that I train, they ain't trying to spend that much, right? So when I started to look into artificial intelligence, one of the things that I found is that artificial intelligence mimics human intelligence, and it can be used as a tool to accelerate the creativity that we already have, right? So when we're thinking about how much it would cost when we're first starting out to hire all of those positions, if you can tap into artificial intelligence, especially large language models like ChatGPT, which has taken the AI world by storm, then you're able to type in those legal questions, those business questions, those financial questions, and get answers. Now, sometimes they can be loud and wrong, which is why we teach prompt engineering, and we always tell people to double check those answers. But you're able to get very specific advice depending on your input. You can get that type of output that could accelerate your business for a fraction of the price. You can log into ChatGPT 3.5 right now and ask those questions for free. And if you upgrade to ChatGPT Plus, you have a suite of tools that are giving you answers for just $20. When, let's say, an accountant, that's not even their hourly rate. So when we're talking to Black entrepreneurs, we help them see the benefit of that efficiency.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Now, I know we're going to talk about how folks can connect more deeply through some of your courses. And I should say, we got some people in the chat who are alums of the Black Upstart.
Yes, I saw Tamara Stevenson.
Absolutely is here. And then Chiquita Clark is a Man Listen fan, and it was talking about your AI children's book program and others. And so a lot of validation for Professor Kezia in the chat. Just give us a little bit of a preview of some of the tools and strategies that are in the course around sort of AI and entrepreneurship. What are some of the things you recommend to folks?
Absolutely. ChatGPT is always going to be at the top of my list. I'm in ChatGPT every single day. I use it more than Google. With ChatGPT, especially ChatGPT Plus, upgrading that $20 puts you in the top 1% of users. With ChatGPT Plus, you're able to do things like, as you're hearing from our alum, illustrate a storybook. You're able to generate stickers, which is actually the #5 seller on Etsy. You're able to access tools and resources that people who access the free version don't have access to. I also recommend image generators. And so in our classes, we spend time using Midjourney, and also Audiogram, which is free. Midjourney does cost something. But with Midjourney and Audiogram, you can generate consistent character images. Like, it used to take anywhere from 1 to 5 years to publish a children's book. Now you can streamline that process and publish within 1 to 3 days. That's what we teach in our classes, as long as you learn prompt engineering. We also teach how to leverage voiceover software like Play.ht. We also teach how to do animation through Lalamu Studios. We teach 15 different AI applications. One of the most popular ones during the springtime, when the real estate market starts heating up, we teach people how to do virtual staging and also 3D virtual tours with Zillow. And so we have a whole suite of AI software that we teach. One of the most important things, Joshua, though, is not just that people are able to create those side hustles for all of our classes in less than 5 hours, for our virtual classes in less than 3 hours, but that they're learning the skills of the future. The first, second, third industrial revolution, we were locked out, right? We were trying to participate in the economy, and the people who were able to make millions and billions may not have looked like us. Now technology is starting to become democratized, right? Mm-hmm. And as we look to the skills of the future, we're going to have to look less at what job do you want for the future? What skills do I need for the future in order to compete in such a way where, again, you're not begging other people to do for you what you're capable of doing for yourself.
Yeah.
So
that's so true. And what I was saying, some folks are raising this in the chat, and all the enthusiasm for AI, and I would say ChatGPT 4 is in my most visited sites right there next to the Washington Post and ESPN.com. But what I've found over time, Kezia, and I wonder if you agree with this, is that on the one hand, it's not so far just all about the scary and troubling and problematic things. On the other hand, it hasn't replaced, or it shouldn't replace, things like critical thinking, professionals like lawyers and so forth. It's more of a way, it's more of a complement to the things that I need to do, as opposed to something. I would never recommend someone not speak with a lawyer about a complex challenge, in the same way that I still need a CFO. I still need, professionals around me, but I'm able to prep for my conversation with my accountant or with my CFO or with my attorney, or I'm able to get a list of questions that I want to ask them. The same way, if you're in academia, no, you shouldn't use this to write papers. And if students do that, there are ways to find out. No, you shouldn't use this for to pass off AI work as your own. But in terms of generating ideas, fact checking things, even proofreading and so forth, it seems to be a rich complement if we can learn how to master it. Is that kind of how you're seeing AI as well, Kezia?
I think that's the only way to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that when people say artificial intelligence can replace human intelligence, I think when you go into ChatGPT, in order to get the best value for ChatGPT, then your prompt means your input has to be very specific on what you're requesting. And so, to your point, it's a complement and not a replacement. So yes, you want to speak with your attorney. Most people will get a contract, for example. I just got 3 contracts in for my business, and they're reading it, and sometimes people don't read it, but they're wondering, what are those questions that I can ask to my attorney where I can maximize the hourly fee that I'm paying him or her, right? You could use ChatGPT, dropping that information in there and say, review this and tell me what are the benefits of this contract for me as an entrepreneur, and what are some deficits where I should ask questions about. It should be used as a complement. The other thing is, for anyone who's used ChatGPT, without retrofitting that prompt to fit what your needs are, it's very obvious. Mm-hmm. So whenever I get emails from candidates applying for jobs, or when I get emails from individuals that are just inquiring for partnership, I can tell when it's authentic, and when there's been a human touch, and when it's been ChatGPT revise, my resume, or write a resume for me. It doesn't give that voice. So when we teach college students, we always teach them that you have to engage with the AI with your own creativity. When it comes down to African Americans using it for side hustles, right? Black folks using it for side hustles, there's also still a lot of bias in AI. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes down to our prompt engineering, especially as it relates to image generation, what we've learned is you could put in, I want an African American character with a big black afro, a pink dress, pink shoes, and what will come back is a white girl with long blonde hair and maybe a blue dress. You know, so like there's techniques that you can learn that allow for you to input information and get the output that you need. And I say that to say that AI is not going to replace human intelligence, and you still have to infuse a little bit of your self-critical thinking in order to get the best product.
Amen to that. Kezia, I hope and pray this is not the only time we'll hear from you. We'd love to keep the conversation going. But for folks who want to plug into the course and jump right into AI and entrepreneurship, how do they find you? Where do they go?
Absolutely. So you can visit us at schoolatnight.com. We are introducing our May and June classes very soon. They sell out very quickly. Initially, our goal a year ago, so we started April 15th, 2023. Train 50 people, but we've graduated over 4,000. So visit us at School at Night. We'd love to see you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Professor Kezia. Y'all check out School at Night. Really, really dope stuff. And we'll talk to you real soon, okay? Amazing. Listen, we're about to have our last conversation, and it is going to be a powerful one. We are delighted to move to there in just a moment. But I think we have... No, we're not doing. We're doing a giveaway after the next one, and so we're going to go to this next conversation and then do our final giveaway. I'm going to bring back on the remarkable Sharice. She always leads with she's my chief of staff. That is true, but she is an absolute powerhouse in her own right, serving in government and nonprofits and more, and the author of Invincible Summer, a 30-day reflection on the power of kindness. And so, just an amazing author in her own right as well. And so, Sharice, back over to you, my friend, to bring on our next guest, my good friend Ashanti. So over to you.
Well, I'm excited, Joshua. Thanks so much. Our next speaker is a nationally recognized political strategist who understands how to organize folks and build coalitions that get things done. She's worked for the United Way, the Democratic National Convention Committee, and in government as a political appointee at the Department of Labor, where I had the honor of meeting her during our time in the Obama administration. She's the founder of the award-winning podcast, Brown Girl's Guide to Politics. So you guys need to start downloading that if you don't already. But these days, especially for the next 190, her most important job is as the president of Emerge, where she focuses on increasing the number of Democratic women in office who actually reflect the diversity, of the party. So she's going to tell us what we need to know about the 2024 election. So please, everybody, give a what's good welcome to Ashanti Golar. Ashanti, we're really excited to have you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm so excited to be on with you, my friend, Joshua, Michelle. I love you so much. And I love these town halls. So it's great because I've been a participant, like watching in, and now I get to talking about the great work of Emerge with people that I love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us, let's start there. For the folks who don't know about the amazing, amazing work you're doing, tell us about Emerge.
Yes. So first, I have the honor and privilege of being the first Black woman to lead Emerge. We were started in 2002 with our first affiliate in California. And I think a lot of people don't know this, but Vice President Kamala Harris was the inspiration for the creation of Emerge. Our co-founders were really good friends with her when she was running for DA, and they realized that there was no place for women to go to learn how to run for office. We actually just had the vice president do a special call in for her annual event. And she talked about what it was like, that she needed help writing her bio. She needed help putting her contacts together. She talked about how she didn't have a table when she needed to do events. So she used to put her ironing board in her car and cover it up and use that as a table to pass out information. And what we're doing at Emerge is we are building a woman-led America. I always like to break it down for people. There's 520,000 elected offices in this country. That means that there are 520,000 people that get to shape our lives with the stroke of a pen. President, vice president, Congress, they're only a small portion of them. The rest happen at the state and local level. Women were 51% of the population. We don't hold 51% of those offices. Men still occupy around 75% of them, predominantly white men. So we have a long ways to go. At Emerge, we are demystifying what it takes to run for office. We do that through several programs, and we have a focus on the new American majority, Black, Brown, and Indigenous women, women of color, young women, unmarried women, LGBTQ women. When we look at the past elections, these have been the voters that have been fueling a lot of the great victories that we see and get to celebrate. And we want to make sure that they are putting their names on the ballot, especially Black women. We only have one Black woman serving in the United States Senate. We've never had a Black woman governor. There are so many states that have never elected a Black woman to Congress or statewide office. We're doing well with state house seats, but we don't hold a lot of those leadership positions. And that is what we are doing at Emerge. And I'm proud of the fact that we are doing a lot of our work focusing on Black women.
I love that. I love the way you broke that down, because it is that simple, right? There are a certain number of people who really do have the power to make some of these things happen. And I think folks need to know about that. You know, gosh, we're in such a crazy time now. So many people are just now starting to pivot to, you know, pay attention to the election a little bit more. And quite frankly, for so many people, it's overwhelming, right? Because we're not in like a year or 6 month election cycle, right? We're in a 2-4 year election cycle. So it's becoming a lot for a lot of people. You know, what do you say to women, especially Black women, who have sort of, you know, hit that point with politics? They're sort of fed up. They're not feeling as connected to the process. What are some things that can help keep us inspired and engaged in the democratic process? Because you just told us like why it's so important, right?
Yes. And every year is an election year, and that's the reality. And I'm very honest about the fact that I think wanting to tire us out, exhaust us, the fatigue, that's part of the plan. They want to just make us so over it that we don't turn out and vote, that we don't pay attention, that we don't run for office. And it's a result of the fact that over the past few years, we have made a lot of progress, and that progress benefits Black and Brown people. And there's so many people who do not like that. They want the status quo. And for Black people, it is exhausting when we think about politics, because we are playing in a system that was not built for us. When they developed this government, it was all about straight white men who own land. That's who could vote, that's who could be in office. They never anticipated the participation of people of color. They never anticipated the participation of women. So every time we show up to be involved in this democratic process, we are disrupting that system. And that pisses a lot of people off, if I'm honest. But we have to keep at it. And I know things are so hard right now, but I always remember that it's always darkest before the dawn.
You got that right.
So many things that our elders went through, our ancestors went through, and we can get through this to make it so much better for the next generations. And I'm just so blessed that I get to wake up every day and do this work at Emerge. It is what keeps me going, and seeing Black women in elected office who are making a huge change. Like Cherise, like you were at the White House, you got to work with great women like Congresswoman Lucy McBath. If you all don't know her story, she will say that she was just a wife, a mom, a flight attendant, and her whole world changed when her son Jordan was shot and killed for playing loud music in his car. And she became a gun violence prevention activist with Moms Demand Action. And I'm really good friends with the founder of that organization, Shannon Watts, who is on our board. And she emailed me one day and she said, Ashanti, are you going to be in Atlanta soon? We got to get Lucy a run for office. I was like, yes, I have been waiting for this moment, because I knew Lucy, I knew her story, and I knew she was someone who should be running for office. And now she is a congresswoman who is doing great work on gun violence prevention. And she gets to serve with Congresswoman Amelia Sykes, who is another amazing Emerge alum. When we talk about the economy, California is the 5th largest economy in the world. And their controller is a Black woman, the first Black woman to hold that role, Malia Cohen. We know that our courts are super important. When we go to Michigan, Kyra Harris Bolden is the youngest Black woman serving on the Michigan Supreme Court. And we know there's lots of stuff happening in Michigan. There are great women who are fighting every day to make our lives better, who are, in my opinion, really reimagining these systems, because that is what we need. And they keep me going. And I know that they need our support, not only to get elected, but we got to support them when they are there, because
Absolutely.
it does not stop all of the stuff that they have to deal with, and they need us
It doesn't.
all the time.
It doesn't. And the community that you're building is so important. I saw it in government. I've seen it outside of government. So I'm not going to be able to thank you enough for everything that you're doing, equipping us, right, to be able to do this work. Tell, the What's Good audience, there's a ton of races. People are having a hard time, keeping tabs on where they should be paying attention. Obviously, people know locally they can pay attention, but talk to us about some of the most important races this cycle. Who are the candidates we should be watching, who are all across the country?
Yes, I could list so many races in so many states, but we really got to pay attention to Congress. I mean, every time we turn around, they're trying to oust their speaker. Just, oh my gosh, it is absolutely insane. And another statistic is, with Congress, Black women only make up 5.6% of Congress. We can totally get those numbers up. And there are great Black women who are on the ballot this year. We know that the amazing Congresswoman Barbara Lee is retiring.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she is being replaced, because I know she's going to win, by Latifah Simon, who is an Emerge alum and is also a mentee of the Congresswoman. I really think it's important that when we have Black women vacating these seats, that we are replacing them with other Black women. At Emerge, we call that Lift as We Climb, because we know that a white man will immediately raise his hand and say, I'm going to run. If they have the old boys club, I say we can build the New Girls Network. Whatever they do, we can do better. And that's a perfect example of that. We have Dr. Pamela Pugh, who is running for Congress in Michigan. She's a powerhouse. And we have another woman who could be a trailblazer in Oregon. We have one of our Emerge alums, Janelle Bynum, who did our Emerge Oregon program, but also our Seated Together program, which focuses on Black women elected officials who are running for higher office. She has the opportunity to be the first Black woman to represent Oregon. And there is big investment in her race. The Congressional Black Caucus is one of their top targets. These congressional seats are super important. And I think we really need to get out of the mindset of, oh, they're the congressperson for that state, they're the senator for that state. Everything that they're voting on impacts us. So they don't have to live in our state. They don't have to be our representative for us to want to uplift these great Black women, because we're going to need them in office if we're going to get some things done in Congress.
You got that right. I know you have an important event coming up this week, Women Talk Politics Day. So I would love it if you would talk to the What's Good audience about that event.
Yes, super excited about Women Talk Politics Day, which is on Thursday, May 2nd, and everyone here is invited to participate. So I'll talk a little bit more about it. First, why did we choose the day of May 2nd? For us, that was actually the day that the Dobbs decision got leaked. And we got the heads up, unfortunately, that they were going to overturn Roe v. Wade. And that did happen. But when we read the opinion and also the concurring opinions by several of the justices, it let us know that it wasn't just about Roe. There were so many other rights that we have that they were considering to be on the table. And that shows how all of these issues impact us, how they are interconnected, and a big reason why we need to be motivated to vote this year. And at Emerge, we really wanted to have an opportunity to create a national conversation where women could talk about the issues that matter to them in the 2024 election. So this activation is going to happen on Instagram, and we have developed a website and a great tool where you can create your own graphic in 5 seconds or less. We made it super simple on our website, which is womentalkpolitics.org. So in the graphic, you can pick whatever issue that you care about, say why it's personal to you, and lead the conversation on your terms and engage with your audience. because we all have an audience. We all have a network. And it's important for us to talk about why we're voting, be it on reproductive health care access, if it's about student loan debt, book bans, climate change, affordable housing, protecting trans kids. I know for me, I'm going to post about Black maternal health. We're just coming off of Black Maternal Health Week, and that's a conversation that we have to keep going. And you can talk about as many issues as you want, create as many graphics as you want, because Instagram lets you post up to 10, which is another reason why we chose it. And I know that we have a video that we can share to just show how easy this is. So you go to womentalkpolitics.org, you get to say why you're voting this year and why this issue is personal to you. And you're able to easily download the graphic, post it on your Instagram account. You can say more about it and just really own the conversation. So we think it's a really powerful opportunity for us as women to continue to use our voices, because we have very strong voices, but especially for us as Black women, because we know that when it comes to voting, no one outperforms us. We are the best, and we're going to keep it going. And this is another tool to show people why we are the ones who will continue to save this democracy. But by saving this democracy, we know we always make it better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ashanti, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all of the work that you are doing. Thank you for all of the work you're doing for Black women, for our democracy, for everything. We appreciate you. Tell folks where they can find out more information about Emerge and all the work that you're doing.
Yes. So you can find us. Our website is emergeamerica.org. We're on all of the socials at Emerge America. So that's X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, of course, Facebook, YouTube, or even on Snapchat. And you have the information here for Women Talk Politics Day. That website is womentalkpolitics.org. And I'm really excited to see what everyone is going to post. And on Thursday, I'll be sharing them on my Instagram stories to uplift all of you.
Oh, thank you, my friend. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Love you.
Joshua, back to you.
Thank you so much, Sharice and Ashanti. Again, everybody go to womentalkpolitics.org, participate, and make sure that your voice is heard. Listen, y'all, we've come to the end. We have rounded it out. We are an hour and a half in. We're going to get y'all out of here on time. I think these are 90-minute calls, not 60, just because we like hanging out together, don't we? We're going to wrap up with our final giveaway, and also just some final shout outs to some good things that are happening in people's lives that they've shared with us. Shout out to Carol Marsh, Pikesville, North Carolina, who just graduated. Reverend McClendon from San Diego has a new book, The Uncrowned Queen Reclaims Her Throne. Love these authors on the line. Marvin Jones got a new car, celebrating being married for 30 years. Emily George Tilley from Louisiana is about to have a doctoral defense at Tulane University. So about to be Dr. George Tilley coming out of Tulane. Ed Miller published his second book on financial literacy, Breaking the Broke Cycle. Y'all, how far have we come where not only are we beginning to strengthen our foundation, but now we're sharing our knowledge with others as authors in this way. It's just amazing. Daria Fennell went through a tough season and lost her mom, and we're sending so much love to her. But on the heels of that, she's growing her business and just recently got a new PR client. And so, Daria, we are rooting for you. Even as you mourn, we're rooting for just continued blessings and abundance in your life. Charlene Jones won her race for precinct chair in Harris County, Texas. And so people that are actively engaging in our political system. Candace Dorsey just graduated from Duquesne University, and we're celebrating with you, Candace. There's so much more goodness. I can't get to everything, but we are just delighted by the good that is happening in this community. Let's stay connected. Invite 5 people to next month's gathering, and make sure you join our text community. This is going to be the best way to stay plugged in. We're going to show you real quick how to join our text community. So just grab this QR code or text join to 202-221-6616. And do me a favor. We just want to know kind of what you love about these events, what we could change in the future. Just take 34 seconds to fill out the What's Good poll, bit.ly/What's Good poll, and let us know what you love about it. I would love, they're going to hate me for doing this, but y'all, I just show up here and look pretty. The people who really do the work are Taylor Mason and Alex Blanc and Warsan Helene. I'm just wondering if they could just turn their cameras on and show their faces to y'all. They're going to be so mad at me right now. Can y'all just say hi to the What's Good community, please? Don't make me look bad by not turning on your camera, because y'all do the work. They need to see who's doing this. I'm begging you. Alex, thank you. Yes, there's Taylor. Taylor's so mad at me right now. Hallelujah. Awesome. Warsan said no. I don't care what you've asked for. Warsan, yes. Thank you. Oh, man, we appreciate y'all. Can y'all give it up for the people who literally spend so many hours a day to make sure that this is so well run? We've done events with Oprah and A&E and History. Our own events are at the same level as those that are on national television because of these folks right here, and Samantha Williams and Jonica and others. But this is really kind of the core team who makes it happen. And so we appreciate you guys and wanted everybody to see. Anything you want to say to the people? Taylor, what you want to say? Nope. You said nope. Okay. Bye, y'all. We'll see you in a bit. Okay, so let's do this final giveaway. I do have to say, I've seen a few of my family members on the line. Please don't be mad at me. You all, I think I've seen my little sister, Anna Singfield. I think I've seen my favorite cousin in the entire world, Danita Berry, who has the best esthetician office in Houston, Texas, Skincology Houston. I know I've seen my grandmother, Catherine Russell. Y'all are not allowed to win this $200. So if I see y'all's name, we have to do it again. I have to have full disclosure that you're not allowed to win the $200. And so we will have to run it again. And I apologize because of those family restrictions. So having said that, and I think I saw my cousin Carla as well. So Carla, you are also not eligible, but I do love you. Let us now run the $200 giveaway. Anna said, boo. Karen Thomas, Quaku. Karen, are you there? You got to be on the line. You had to have stuck to the end, or else we're going to do it again. Let's wait and see. You're here with my mama too, Anna. That's wonderful. Karen, are you there? Oh, I hope she's here. I hope she didn't miss her blessing, or we're going to have to run it again. You do actually have to be on the line. So we're waiting. Can someone from the team see if you see Karen still on the line? June said we need to do one of these calls every week. We're going to start incorporating mocktails or cocktails into What's Good. Just FYI, that will be next month. Lisa, you weren't the winner. Lisa said, I'm here. Okay. Karen, we got to give you one last chance. Can someone on our team tell me if Karen is on the line? She's not. I don't think she is. Somebody text Karen, tell her she missed her blessing. Karen says she's here. Where is she? Do y'all see Karen? Can somebody help me out on the squad? Comment in the chat, Karen. We need you. Deborah said, spin the wheel. Spin this wheel again. Where is she? Okay, listen. Here's what we're going to do. Karen Thomas, not Taylor. Okay. All right, Karen's not here. Y'all, we got to do it again. We got to do it. And if God forbid Karen was here in this moment, we will give away two. We're going to spin this wheel one more time. We need someone that is actually in the room right now. Let's go. Come on, Taylor. EVA, I'm hoping it's you. Let's see. Where's our music? Ashley Martin, are you here? Oh, come on, y'all. Ashley? Y'all make... Your blessing is actively being missed. Ashley done dropped off too. Okay. Spin it again. Ashley ain't here. Spin it again. Spin it again. Talia Townsend, I know you here. I think I saw you. Talia. Mark Q said, y'all keep going. You're going to eventually get to Mark. Talia, are you here? Please, Jesus, let Talia be in the house. Wanda is calling it into existence. Talia, this is wild. Everybody has dropped off. I guess it is 9:35. I'm about to just pick one of y'all in a second. Talia's here. Talia, do we have? Wait, is Talia here? I think I saw Talia. Did y'all see Talia? Yes, she's there. Ah, Talia Townsend. Not only did you comment what's good, not only did you show up tonight, but you stayed on until 9:34 p.m. And therefore, you have the blessing of this. We're going to see if we can pull you on. If you want to turn on your camera, we're going to try to bring you. If you have a bonnet on, if you don't feel like coming on, that's perfectly fine. But we would love to see you if you are there. Talia, would you like to join us? You don't. This is you still win even if you don't join us on camera. But let's see. Talia, you here? Alrighty. Well, we are so delighted for Talia, and we are delighted for you all. Join us next month for What's Good. We got some amazing guests coming up, both inspirational moments, poignant moments, and more. And so fill out the What's Good poll, and we will talk to everybody soon. Bless you. Bye-bye.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good?